Good morning, children. So, today we are going to discuss our next topic of this chapter, that is interconversion of the state of matter. So, in this topic, actually, it is going to discuss that how we can convert the states of matter, that is the solid, how we can convert into liquid, how we can convert into gas, you can how we can convert into solid, then liquid, how we can convert into gas, how can it convert into solid, that one we will discuss today. Okay, so we can convert this one state of matter to another state of matter, that we know, because if you go suppose one example like ice is present at suppose it is in the solid state. Okay, so if we give some heat, or if we bring it in our room temperature from our fridge, then we can see that ice, it will start to melt. And after melting, it will be converted into the liquid state, that is water. So ice is getting converted into the water, that means solid is getting converted into the liquid state. And this process is called melting or fusion. So not only ice, many solid states of matter are there, that if we give some heat, or if we give some rise some temperature, or if we uh, also change the pressure, then we can definitely thus change the state of the matter. Suppose in case of already solid, we have already given the example. Now liquid to gas, suppose water we are going to boil. So after some time we can see that water vapor, it is coming out from the given container of the taken container of the water. So that means it will indicate that water, it is converting into the water vapor. That means liquid is getting converted to the steam or water vapor. So this kind of process, it is called the vaporization. Okay. So by this way, we will see that this kind of, this is the name of that process that we will discuss. So first here it is the liquid state is the middle and solid state in the left hand side, gaseous state right hand side. So solid to liquid, liquid to solid, liquid to gas, gas to liquid, we can convert the state of the matter. So one more that thing I am giving, that here you can see that interconversion of the matter is written properly, that is solid, see in the down solid it is written, it is going to liquid state, and this process, that arrow, it is given solid to liquid, and name of the process also it is written, that is melting. And next, liquid to solid, that means it is coming in the next process, that liquid to solid, that arrow, this process, it is called freezing or solidification. Now liquid to gas, it is called evaporation or vaporization, and gas to liquid, you can see that it is condensation. Okay, so again I am repeating that melting is a process in which solid can be changed in the liquid state. That is the states of matter of the solid state of the matter. It is getting converted into the liquid state, and this process is called melting or fusion. And whenever liquid is changing to solid, this process is called freezing or solidification. Now liquid is changing to gas, this process is called vaporization or evaporation. Now gas to liquid, it is called the condensation or liquefaction. And solid to gas, that it is written in the left hand side arrow, it is written the sublimation. So in case of sublimation, suppose if we take a naphthalene ball, then if we keep a naphthalene ball in a place, then after some days we can see that the naphthalene ball becomes smaller. So what is the reason for that? Because in the room temperature only, the naphthalene, it is getting converted into the gaseous states of the matter. So that is why the size of the naphthalene ball becomes smaller. And the solid substance, when it is getting converted into the gaseous states of matter without forming any liquid state, just it is jumping the liquid state from solid, it is directly changing to the gaseous state. This process is called sublimation. So with increasing the temperature, sublimation process, it will occur with a faster rate. So this is given by this arrow that solid is getting converted to the gas, and this process is called the sublimation. So evaporation also we can say from liquid to gas, but below its boiling point, when liquid state of the matter can change into the gaseous state of the matter, then it is called the evaporation. Okay, and vaporization means when it will start to boil, that means suppose at 100 degrees centigrade, suppose water is going to start for boiling, and that time it is called vaporization. But if sometime what we do, that our wet cloths, sometimes we we arrange it properly that we can dry it, and after some time, after 2-3 hours, we can see in a hot dry day, generally it will take less time and it will be dried up. Okay, so what is the reason for that? Due to the evaporation. That in case of wet cloths, that here also water vapor is present, but we are not giving any external heat, we are not rising any temperature. But at room temperature only, after some time, it will take some time, and it will be getting converted into the vapor state, and that is why it will become dried out. So for that reason and for that process, we can go through our evaporation process. But when we are giving some heat, when we are going for boiling any solution, and we want to convert into the gaseous state, this process is called the vaporization. So I think all of you can understand what is the main difference between the evaporation and vaporization. So this is there by which we can convert any state of the matter to another state of the matter. Now, during the interconversion of the states of the matter, one part is very much important, that we have to change that temperature and pressure. So, by changing the temperature, that means by giving heat or by removing the heat, by increasing the temperature, by decreasing the temperature, we can convert the physical state of the matter, or by changing the pressure. Suppose in case of LPG, here the liquefied petroleum gas is there, and gaseous particles, the gaseous liquid hydrogen, it is that compressed. By giving some pressure, we are able to convert it into the liquid in the cylinder. In the gas cylinder, it is in the liquid state. So, but by giving the pressure, that means by compressing, we can change the state of the matter, or by removing the pressure, that liquid can easily convert it to the gaseous state. So, by that way only, by changing the temperature or changing the pressure, we can convert the state of the matter. Now, melting, I already discussed with you that what is melting, the process by which the solid substance can be changed into the liquid substance on heating is called the melting or fusion. And what is melting point? The temperature at which that solid melts to liquid at atmospheric pressure is called the melting point of the substance. And when we are giving the heat, it will take the energy from the heat, and the particles will go for the vibration, and it will, due to that sufficient amount of the kinetic energy, will overcome the strong force of attraction among the particles and break to form small groups of particle, and the solid melts to form a liquid. And higher is the melting point of the substance, greater will be the force of attraction between the particles, because melting point higher means more temperature is needed to break down the molecules, to break down the force of attraction. So for example, if we say that in case of iron rod, obviously iron, it is having the more melting point like 1535 degrees centigrade, which tells us that force of attraction between the iron particles, it is very strong. That is why too much energy, too much heat energy, it is required for giving the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy means the energy due to the movement of the particle, the kinetic energy that it can overcome the intermolecular force of attraction among the particles. So next we are coming second point, that boiling. Already we have discussed that boiling, it is a vaporization process by which liquid can be converted to the gas, and the temperature at which the liquid can be converted into the gaseous state at atmospheric pressure is called the boiling point. Condensation means the process by which, by cooling effect only, that gas can be converted to the liquid state, like water vapor can be changed to the liquid water due to this process, and it is the reverse of vaporization, because vaporization liquid to gas it is producing, and in condensation gas to liquid it is producing. In case of freezing, freezing means we can also say it is for solidification. Solidification means when liquid can be converted into the solid state. This process it is called solidification or freezing. And when the liquid is cooled, its particles loses its energy and it will move slowly. And if it will move slowly, then it will come to close to each other, and at this stage the liquid freezes and becomes a solid. And freezing is also a reverse of melting, that we already know, because melting is the process by which solid can be transferred to liquid, but in freezing liquid can be transferred to solid. So state of matter can be changed by changing the temperature. So solid to liquid, see, heat or melting, liquid to solid, cool or freezing, liquid to gas, heat or boiling, and gas to liquid, cool or condensation. Okay. So next we are coming that effect of pressure on the states of matter. It is the pressure. If we give more pressure, if we compress it, then we can be able to convert the one state of the matter to another state. In gaseous state of the matter, generally as the gaseous particles are too much compressible in nature, so if we compress the gaseous particles, the gaseous particle will come to close to each other and it will be converted to the liquid particle. So by this way, by giving the pressure, we can change the state of matter. So here some points are already written that we have already discussed. Okay. So now we are coming to next point, that is latent heat. So latent heat means heat which is required by the substance to change its state without rise of temperature. It is called the latent heat or hidden heat. Or we can say the latent heat is the heat which is used to overcome the force of attraction between the particles of the substance during the change of the state. So it is actually a hidden heat. It does not increase or decrease the kinetic energy of the particles of the substance. So latent heat generally of two types. One is latent heat of fusion, another one is latent heat of vaporization. So latent heat of fusion, it is that the minimum amount of heat is required for converting 1 kg of the solid into the liquid at atmospheric pressure. It is called the latent heat of fusion because fusion we already know solid changes to liquid, and latent heat of vaporization, the same thing, it is there. The minimum amount of energy it is required to convert 1 kg of the liquid into the vapor at atmospheric pressure. It is called the latent heat of vaporization. So it is experimentally found that 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat is required to 1 kg of water to steam at the same temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. So the latent heat of vaporization of water, it is 22.2 into 10 to the power 5 joule per kilogram. Similarly, latent heat of fusion, that is at 0 degrees centigrade, the latent heat of fusion of ice, that is 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joule per kg, because it is already experimentally found that 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joule of heat is required to convert 1 kg of ice into water at the same temperature, that is 0 degrees centigrade. So this is the latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization. And next, the sublimation. Sublimation is the process by which the solid can be converted into directly the gaseous states of the matter. Suppose in case of camphor, suppose in case of naphthalene, that solid particles can be directly converted into the gaseous particle. That is why after some days, after some time, we can see that the size of the substance becomes smaller because already it has converted into the gaseous state. And this process is called the sublimation. And gas to solids, if we go through that process, then we can call it reverse sublimation as well as sublimation both. Okay. So solid carbon dioxide, that is dry ice, sublimes to form the carbon dioxide. So solid to, it is converting to the gaseous state. So that means of course it is a sublimation process. Okay. So common substances generally we can see for camphor, naphthalene, anthracene, ammonium chloride, iodine. So that we can give some examples for they are having tendency to sublime. So next we are coming evaporation. Evaporation is a phenomenon. Already I told you that evaporation is a phenomenon in which liquid can be changed into the gaseous state below its boiling point. It is called the evaporation. So that means below its boiling point, water is having the boiling point 100 degrees centigrade. If before 100 degrees centigrade, some of the water will be vaporized at our room temperature also, that I have already given that example for wet cloths, for a hot cup of tea. If we take a cup of tea in a cup, if it is as it is in congested area, so it will take more time to be cooled if we take it in a container that is having the greater surface. So that means evaporation is going on, it is becoming cool for that particular reason due to this evaporation. So evaporation will depend some factors like the temperature, surface area and weather condition. Of course, if the temperature it will increase, the evaporation rate of evaporation also it will be increased, because temperature increase means it is the rate of changing from liquid to gaseous particles, this rate will increase, so evaporation will be increased. Next, the surface area. Surface area, if it is greater, just now I have given one example for a cup of tea, that if we take a hot hot tea in a cup, then we can see after some time if we take it in a plate, in a container that is having the more surface area, it will come cool within just a minute. But in a cup, in a congested area, in a small area, it will be for some time it will remain hot. So that means if the surface area increases, the rate of evaporation it will be increased. Weather condition. Suppose in humid weather means too much water vapor is already present there. So of course evaporation it will decrease, because already in the air water vapor is there. So it will not wants to take the water vapor from anywhere. So that is why evaporation will be decreased. And similarly for sunny hot weather, like in summer season generally, the rate of evaporation will be higher whenever it will be sunny. It will avoid when humidity in the air, that time rate of evaporation will be higher. So if humidity is present, rate of evaporation will be lower. If humidity is higher, if humidity is lower, rate of evaporation will be higher. So in a dry weather, rate of evaporation will be more. Cooling effect. How evaporation cause cooling effect? That when a liquid evaporates, it draws the energy from the liquid itself. When liquid evaporates, it draws the energy from the liquid itself. Hence, it keeps the cooling effect. Okay, because the liquid draws on the energy lost from the surrounding, that in turn becomes cooler. So on such a usage can be seen in the forced cooling by air coolers during summer. In the air cooler, this kind of incident is going on, that due to the evaporation, we can feel that more cooling effect in during summer. So this is a chapter that we have discussed all the topics. So I think all of you can understand. If you cannot understand, you will contact with me. So thank you. Have a nice day.